Most travelers come to Turkey for Istanbul, but beyond the famous mosques and markets, there are valleys filled with floating balloons, coastlines where ancient ruins sit beside turquoise water, mountain landscapes few tourists ever reach, and villages where traditions feel centuries old. And most visitors never see all of it. Turkey isn't just one destination. It's where continents and cultures meet. It's where civilizations have crossed paths for thousands of years, leaving behind layers of history that still shape the landscape today. What people think Turkey is. When people picture Turkey, they think of Istanbul. A city filled with mosques, markets, and history. They imagine the Bosphorus dividing Europe and Asia. Street vendors calling out to passersby in ancient alleyways. The aroma of spices drifting through covered bazaars that have existed for centuries. They picture crowded ferry boats crossing between continents multiple times each day. And that version of Turkey exists. It's vibrant, chaotic, and unforgettable. But Turkey stretches across enormous landscapes, from Mediterranean beaches to volcanic valleys, from snow-capped peaks to desert-like plateaus. The country covers more than 780,000 square kilometers, spanning 2 continents. Once you leave the major cities, the country begins to feel very different. The pace slows down. The crowds disappear. And the landscapes transform completely. Istanbul, the anchor. Istanbul sits at the crossroads of 2 continents. For centuries, it served as the capital of powerful empires. First as Constantinople under the Romans and Byzantines. Then as the heart of the Ottoman Empire for over 600 years. Historic mosques dominate the skyline. Their minarets pierce the sky across every neighborhood. Markets and cafes fill narrow streets. The city feels like several cities, layered on top of each other. Ancient Roman columns stand beside Ottoman palaces. Byzantine churches exist near modern shopping districts. It's one of the most fascinating cities in the world. A place where you can feel the weight of history in every direction. But it's only the beginning of Turkey's story. Because beyond the Bosphorus, the country opens into landscapes that feel completely separate from urban life. Cappadocia. In central Turkey, Cappadocia looks almost surreal. The landscape appears sculpted by forces beyond nature. Volcanic rock formations rise from the landscape. Millions of years of erosion created towers, cones, and valleys unlike anywhere else on Earth. Locals call them fairy chimneys because of their otherworldly appearance. Ancient civilizations carved homes and churches directly into the stone. Some of these cave dwellings date back over 1,000 years. Early Christians fleeing persecution built entire communities underground. Underground cities stretch beneath the surface. Some descend 8 levels deep, complete with ventilation shafts, storage rooms, and gathering spaces. These cities could shelter thousands of people for months at a time. At sunrise, hundreds of hot air balloons rise into the sky, floating quietly above valleys shaped by time. The experience feels dreamlike as the balloons drift over rock formations glowing in early morning light. Cappadocia represents a side of Turkey that doesn't match the usual expectations. It's quiet, spiritual, and otherworldly. The turquoise coast. Along Turkey's southern coast lies one of the Mediterranean's most beautiful regions, often called the turquoise coast. The name comes from the striking color of the water, which shifts between shades of blue and green depending on the light. Columns and temples stand as reminders of civilizations that thrived here centuries ago. Small harbor towns welcome travelers arriving by boat. Some of these towns have served sailors and traders for over 2,000 years. Wooden gillets, traditional Turkish sailing boats, still carry passengers along the coast. The journey between ports reveals hidden coves, ancient tombs, and beaches accessible only by sea. History and nature exist side by side here. In few other places can you swim near ruins that date back to Alexander the Great's time. Most visitors leave Turkey thinking they've seen it, but the deeper you explore, the more it changes. Every region offers something completely different, from ancient underground cities to mountains that rival the Alps. From coastal villages where life moves at the rhythm of the tide to bustling cities where east meets west. If you enjoy discovering destinations beyond the obvious, this channel is built for that. Eastern Anatolia. In Eastern Anatolia, Turkey reveals another side entirely. Mountain ranges stretch across wide open landscapes. Some peaks rise above 4,000 meters. Snow-covered peaks dominate the horizon for much of the year. Mount Ararat, Turkey's highest point, towers at 5,137 meters. The terrain feels remote. In some areas, shepherds still move livestock across the same routes their ancestors used. Many travelers never reach this part of the country. It requires more time, more planning, and a willingness to venture far from tourist infrastructure. But its scenery can feel just as dramatic as the Alps. Wide valleys, glacial lakes, and fortress ruins scattered across hilltops create landscapes that feel timeless. Small towns and daily life. Across Turkey, small towns remain connected to long traditions. Markets fill village squares. Farmers bring produce from nearby fields. Vendors arrange displays of olives, cheeses, and spices. Shoppers greet each other by name. Tea houses become gathering places. Their construction reflects regional styles, using locally sourced stone and wood. Daily life moves at a slower rhythm. People wake with the sun and structure their day around meals, prayer times, and social visits. Conversations stretch. There's no rush to finish a discussion or move on to the next task. Meals are shared. Food is often prepared collectively, with family members contributing to dishes that take hours to complete. Community remains central. Weddings, religious holidays, and harvest celebrations bring entire villages together. These traditions create bonds that hold communities together even as the modern world encroaches. Turkish food culture. Turkish cuisine reflects centuries of cultural exchange. Ottoman kitchens once employed hundreds of cooks, each specializing in different techniques. Those traditions still influence how food is prepared today. Kebabs appear in many regional styles. Adana kebabs come spiced and grilled on wide skewers. Iskender kebab is served over bread with tomato sauce and melted butter. Each region claims its own variation, shaped by local ingredients and historical influences. Baklava offers layers of pastry and honey. The finest versions use paper-thin filo dough, crushed pistachios, and just the right amount of syrup. Meals often bring families and friends together for long conversations. A typical Turkish breakfast can include cheeses, olives, tomatoes, cucumbers, honey, bread, and eggs. It's meant to be enjoyed slowly, with multiple cups of tea and plenty of conversation. Why travelers explore more of Turkey. Turkey's tourism continues to grow. In recent years, visitor numbers have reached new highs. But more travelers now move beyond Istanbul. They're realizing that staying in one city means missing the country's incredible diversity. Road trips reveal landscapes across multiple regions. Driving from the coast to the interior shows how dramatically the scenery changes. You move from Mediterranean beaches to rugged mountains to volcanic valleys within a single day. Ancient ruins, mountain villages, and coastal towns offer entirely different experiences. Each region has its own character, shaped by geography, history, and local culture. Exploring beyond the main tourist sites allows travelers to see how varied Turkey truly is. The country rewards curiosity. Those willing to venture off the beaten path discover places that feel untouched by mass tourism. Small guest houses, family-run restaurants, and local guides offer experiences that can't be replicated in larger cities. Who this side of Turkey is for. This side of Turkey is for travelers who enjoy variety. For those who want history, landscapes, and culture in one journey. It's for people who don't want to choose between beaches and mountains, ancient ruins, and vibrant cities. For people curious about places where continents meet. Where you can stand at the point where Europe and Asia touch. Where ancient trade routes once carried goods and ideas between civilizations. Turkey offers that diversity. It's one of the few countries where you can experience such dramatic contrasts within a single trip. From the cosmopolitan energy of Istanbul to the quiet spirituality of Cappadocia. From the sun-drenched Mediterranean coast to the snow-covered peaks of eastern Anatolia. It's a country that refuses to fit into a single category. Turkey isn't just Istanbul. It's balloon-filled valleys, ancient coastlines, mountain landscapes, and cultures layered across centuries. It's a place where every region tells a different story, where the landscape shifts dramatically depending on which direction you travel. And once you move beyond the obvious stops, you realize how much more there is. How many hidden valleys, forgotten ruins, and quiet villages still wait to be discovered. Turkey rewards those who take the time to explore it fully. Subscribe for more journeys beyond the tourist version. What part of Turkey would you explore first? The underground cities of Cappadocia, the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean, or the remote mountains of the East? Let me know in the comments below.